It is 9:02 a.m. on Wednesday, May 11th, 2022. And I'm going to call the Camino Real Regional Mobility Authority Board meeting to order. Raymond, would you please take roll call and then let us know if there are any public comments? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Raymond Tejas, Executive Director of the Camino Real Regional Mobility Authority. There are no public comments today. So the roll call, Joyce Wilson.
Aye.
Jim Smith.
Here.
Joe Wardy.
Here.
Sissy Bird.
Here.
Sylvester Reyes.
Here.
Laura Enriquez.
Here.
And Mary Beth Stevens. Is she online? Okay, so we are showing Miss Stevens as not present.
Okay, thank you. Are there any public comments?
No, ma'am. None received.
All right, thank you very much. We'll proceed to agenda item number 2, adoption of the minutes for the CRRMA board meeting of April 13th, 22. Are there any comments or questions about the minutes as submitted?
Move to approve. Second.
Have a motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 3, discussion and action on a board resolution to authorize the executive director to execute work authorization number 54 with Atkins North America, Inc. for assistance with the procurement of consultants for the indefinite deliverable contracts program, and to authorize the director of finance to execute any necessary budget transfers.
Yes, ma'am. So as read into the record, this deals with the IDC program that we utilize to bring on a group of design firms that we use as necessary and as on an on-call basis. As you may recall, at the last board meeting, the board approved of the selection criteria and the scoring. And so this month, I'm bringing before you an item for a work authorization to bring Atkins as our general engineering consultant team on board to assist with the procurement. So they'll develop the procurement documents and they'll assist with the actual procurement of the IDC list. As a reminder, the last IDC procurement resulted in 5 firms being selected. The one prior to that was 4, so we think it'll be in the range of 4 to 5 firms, but we will be back to you with that. So subject to your questions, I would recommend approval of this item.
Is the current list expiring?
Yes, ma'am.
All of them? And so
yeah.
they're all like up again for competitive procurement process?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just want to make sure there wasn't a current list with some still on and we're just adding to it.
No,
So
ma'am.
this is a whole new slate?
That's correct. So the
Okay.
procurement is done for a 3-year period, and the intention is to keep it fresh every
Okay, that's
3
fine.
years. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to item number 4, discussion and action on board resolutions authorizing the execution of the following as they relate to the Tornillo North and South Sidewalk Shared Use Path Project. A, amendment to the interlocal agreement with El Paso County. B, amendment to work authorization number 1 with Moreno Cardenas, Inc. And C, amendment to work authorization number 39 with Atkins North America, Inc.
So on this one, again, Tornillo North and South, this project you may recall has been to the board before when we executed an interlocal and associated work authorizations to pursue the design element of this project. So I do have a graphic for you up on the screen to remind you and to show the newer members what we're talking about. So there's 2 components to this particular project, and what we're looking to do ultimately is move from the design phase, the design plans are complete, into the construction phase. So that's what these 3 actions do. But to orient you with the project, as you see on your screen in red, those are the sidewalks that will be added in Tornillo on Los Coyotes, Old Mill, and Drake Street. So we're looking at a little over 1.6 miles of sidewalks being added in red. And then the second component is adding sidewalks also in Tornillo in red here along Cobb, 3rd, Florinda, Florella, Linda, and Second Street. And then as we're also including a shared use path in blue, so that's also in Tornillo. So that adds over a mile and a half of sidewalks and shared use path as well. So that's a reminder of the project. So again, we've already gone through the design. The design was completed on this one by Moreno Cardenas. So what you see here under the different items, item 4A is the interlocal amendment that we have with the County of El Paso, where they had initially, under the original interlocal, provided the funds for design. Now they're adding funds in the amount of $550,000 to pursue the construction activities. Sorry, that was the original. Excuse me, I misspoke. They're adding $2.4 million for construction activities. Excuse me. And so that's item 4A, the amendment to the interlocal with the county. Item 4B then is amending the work authorization with the design firm, Moreno Cardenas, to provide design services during construction. And that amount, as you've seen in your backup, is $33,000. And then 4C is bringing our general engineering consultant team, Atkins, on board and amending their work authorization. Originally, their prior work authorization completed the oversight for design. Now we're asking for construction management services, and those fees are up in the $317,000 range. So, and of course, because we're using county funds, all of the scopes and fees have been reviewed and approved by the county. But subject to your questions, I would recommend approval of all these items.
I just have one question. Are these sidewalks being built on private property?
No, sir. All on county right-of-way.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
On item B, would you read that again? Because it doesn't look the same as what's on the,
Yes, sir. Item 4B, that's the amendment to the work authorization with the designer, which is Moreno Cardenas. So as a reminder, the original work authorization with Moreno Cardenas was executed so that they could complete the design. So when you move into construction, you bring that designer of record with you, and they provide design services during construction. So, for example, if the construction contractor has questions about what the design's intent was, or if there are some constructability issues, we have that designer of record on board to help through those.
but this here says
I think-
Huitzolers.
Oh, okay. I've got the wrong date on mine here.
On 4B?
Okay, I misread, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's, we'll be
Okay,
talking about
I got
$US
you.
under 5, yes, sir.
All right.
Well, it's funny you say that. I actually, when I originally added one of these backups, I had it reversed, so hopefully it's been corrected online. If not, I'll make a note to correct that.
Yeah, don't let it happen again.
Yes, sir.
Are there any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved?
I second it.
We have a motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 5, discussion and action on board resolutions authorizing the execution of the following as they relate to the Fabens Airport Improvements Project. A, amendment to interlocal agreement with El Paso County. B, amendment to work authorization number 1.1 with Hewitt Zollers, Inc. And C, amendment to work authorization number 36.1 with Atkins North America, Inc.
Okay, this one is loosely similar to the last one in that we are adding scope to the project. So for this one, as you know, we are doing various improvements to the Fabens Airport on behalf of the County of El Paso. The original interlocal provided funds for the RMA from the county to the RMA to complete design of certain hangars, as well as some construction activities, and we also did a deceleration lane along Fabens Road. What you see today, though, is the intent to add funding so that the designer of record can complete a boundary survey for the airport that the county requires. So similar to the last item, we've got 3 separate action items that can be taken together. The first one is an ILA amendment, which adds $65,000 from the county to the RMA, which allows us to pursue this boundary survey for them. Item 5B then amends the work authorization with the designer of record, which is Hewitt Zollers, adding $56,000 to their work authorization so that they can complete this boundary survey. And then item 5C adds additional oversight funds to Atkins as our general engineering consultant team to do the oversight of the additional survey work. So subject to your questions, I would recommend approval of this item as well.
Any questions?
Move to approve.
Second?
We have a motion and second. Any further discussion? Yes.
If we could, I myself and maybe others would like to go visit that project someday out there at Fabens. We've done a lot of stuff out there, and I'd kind of like to see the results of that if I could.
Certainly. I'll work with the county, and I'll put an invitation out to the board and see how we can structure this. And that goes for any of the projects we're involved in as well. Please let me know. Happy to coordinate a site visit.
Would there be any objection or problem with us potentially holding a board meeting at that location and then doing a tour after? Like at a time where we don't have a lot of agenda activity, sort of like today where it's more routine and we don't have to worry about people having to travel?
Right. So let me look at the facilities and I'll coordinate with the county. I think that's a great idea.
Or if not, maybe schedule it after a meeting while we're all together anyway. We could just kind of ride out there
Great
Certainly.
idea.
as a group and then come back so that we'd still be, it might make it more convenient.
Sure. Yeah, I can look into that. I know that the city had done some open meetings, tours, and that sort of thing. So I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I'll look into it.
I mean, that would be if the board's agreeable with maybe having a meeting out there occasionally, you know.
Great idea.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we have a motion and second, is that correct? On this item? Okay, then call for the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Last item is executive session. Do we have any executive session items?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so for the benefit of the public, we're going to adjourn this meeting at 9:15 a.m. We are going to reconvene in a few minutes on the second floor in the second floor conference room where we are going to have a planning retreat. It is open to the public, so anyone who wishes to stay is welcome to join us. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.